Take It Slow Homestead. I'm Carol, and I've been wanting to show you a project that I've had going this fall, and I've just been so busy and I keep putting it off, but I am determined that this is the day I'm going to show you what I've been up to. It's really been an exciting project for me. I've never done anything like this before, and so far I've had some success, and I just want to share that with you. I'm out here on my porch, and it's a built-in porch. So we have windows. First of all, we just started off with a back porch. And then after a few years, we decided we're gonna enclose it and screen it in. So we had screens. And then we decided to put in windows. And actually the first thing we did was make the cement pad bigger. So anyway, over the years, we have expanded this porch and filled it up with all kinds of junk. I've got my crafts out here, I've got my treadmill out here, I've got a freezer out here, I've got cabinets out here. It's a great place to be. Well, now I've got something else out here and I want to tell you about it. Because I watch YouTube, I've learned a lot of things about gardening, and it's been great. One of the things that I have been learning about over the last 2 or 3 years is that you can take a sucker off of a tomato plant, put it in a jar of water and let it root, or put it directly in some moist soil, take care of it like you would any other seedling, and let it root in the soil. You don't necessarily have to let it root first in a jar of water. But I decided to do that. So from one of my tomato plants this year, I took 4 suckers off of them, and I'm going to show you what a sucker is. I rooted them and then I planted them, and I'm going to show you their progress. There are 3 main kinds, maybe there's just 3 total kinds, of branches on a tomato plant. The first one is a leaf branch. The second one is a sucker branch. The third one is a fruiting branch. That's the one that has the blossoms. That's the one that will get tomatoes. When you are growing a tomato plant, you don't necessarily need the suckers in order to get tomatoes. You need a leaf branch. You need a fruiting branch. Okay, so you can prune off all of those sucker branches if you want to, or you can let them grow. Each sucker branch will turn into another, could turn into another tomato plant. Each sucker branch will make a new main branch. So your tomato plant could have several main branches from all of the suckers that it has. Several main branches going all over the place until you end up with a huge 4 foot by 4 foot or more tomato plant, tomato bush, okay? I'm going to show you what a leaf branch looks like, what a sucker branch looks like, and what a fruiting branch looks like. So let's look at my plants. All right, this is the main stem. This is a leaf branch. Okay, this one right here that is between the main branch and the leaf branch, this one is called a sucker branch. And this sucker branch can turn into another main branch or main stem of the tree. It could turn into another one of these big main branches. Now you might have seen a few blossoms up there. They're not on the sucker. Over here, I'll come around on this side. Okay, coming out from this side, there is the fruiting branch. It just has a stem, and then it branches off into other little stems, and it has blossoms. Okay? Now these are self-pollinating. Tomatoes are self-pollinating. You don't need to have a female tomato plant and a male tomato plant. Each blossom can pollinate itself, but it needs some agitation. It needs bees or other insects, butterflies, or if you don't have that, you can, like inside your house, you can just come by, shake those occasionally, and it will mix the male part, the female part. So then you'll get tomatoes. All right, let me find another example. I have snipped off most of the sucker branches, but here's one. Here's the main branch. There's the leaf branch. See how big it is and how many leaves it has? This is the leaf branch. In between the leaf branch and the main stem is a small sucker branch right there. That will grow in to another whole tomato plant if you want to root it. Okay? If you want to put most of your energy into fruiting, you need to get rid of that sucker. Scissors are good to use, but you can pinch them off. Okay, I could put this in a jar of water or some moist soil, and all of the little hairs, I don't know if I can get close enough. Probably not, maybe, I don't know. All along the branch, maybe you can see them, there's little tiny hair-like things, white hair-like things. They will all turn into roots. But I'm just going to feed this to this plant. So I just dropped it into its pot. It will decompose. I started these as summer was coming to a close. And as you can see, right here I've got a couple of small tomatoes. All the ones that have grown have been small. First of all, let me show you. They're up on a table that's about 1.5 feet tall off the ground. They're in their pots, and they have grown clear up to a normal ceiling, and then this is a slanted ceiling that goes even higher. So they're about, let's see, maybe 10 feet tall. That one has hit the ceiling. The tallest plant, that one right there, out of the 4 that I planted, no tomatoes on that one. I don't know why. But what I did is I put stakes in every one, and I tied the main stem to the stake, as you can see, as you go up. So I ran out of stake, so I took some jute and tied it to the blue tie, and then I stretched it up clear up to the ceiling, and I've got 4 screw hooks up there. Each one has jute hanging from it and tied to one of the blue ties, so that I can keep tying those vines up, which I need to do. You can see that I need to take this big tall one right there and tie it to the jute. I need to do that with all of them. Now I'm going to show you the first 2 that are over here to the left. So let's take a walk over there. As you can see, yay, I actually got some red tomatoes. Look at that. I'm about ready to pick that little cluster. Isn't that fun? And there is another one right there growing. A little green one right there. Okay, there's a green one. And a red one, more green ones. Little one starting. This has been the most productive of all the 4 plants. There's one right there that's turning. The plant next to it also has some little tomatoes. They're on the small side, but I'm excited because this is actually working. There's one right there. There's some little green ones starting right there. So plant number 1, plant number 2 all have tomatoes on them, and plant number 4. Number 3, which is the tallest one, doesn't. They all have their own pots. These are just pots that I saved from when I bought bigger things at the nursery, like a tree. I think the reason why these guys on plant number 1 did the best is because of this. I have a heater right here. And I turn that heater on. This plant gets most of the heat. Second plant gets some. Third plant, fourth plant, they don't get as much. Let's see, I'm going to try to find another example of a sucker. I can't right offhand, but I'll show you where there was one. Okay, right there. You see, there's the main stem, keeps going up. Here is the leaf branch, the one that has a lot of leaves on it. Another way you can tell the leaf branch is it's kind of flat on top right there. That's the leaf branch. That's the main stem. That's where there was a sucker that I snipped off with the scissors, and then I put it down in the soil of this plant just so it can decompose and go back to the soil. Okay, that's it. This room that used to be my porch, used to be my treadmill room, used to be my craft room. It is now a greenhouse. I wish it was a greenhouse. I also have a pepper plant right here that I saved and put it in a pot. We'll see if it stays alive this winter. A little bit of aloe vera right there. And rosemary. I saved my rosemary. Put it in this big pot. So there's my fall/winter garden. I'm just going to back up here so you can kind of see how really tall those are. Yeah, I've got a mailbox over there to the left. That's a project. It's a craft project. Well, see? Clear up to the ceiling. I need to get something up there, like some kind of a rod that I can somehow put from one side to the other. I might have to hang it from the ceiling so that those, as they get tall, they can bend over the rod and start hanging down. That's the plan. Also, I gave these guys some fish emulsion in the middle of November, and I'm going to give them more in about a week. That's going to be their fertilizer, fish emulsion. So far, so good. Here's my treadmill side of the room. And it's that time of year where I need to hop back on there because I'm not as active as I am in the summer. When it starts getting cold and everything outside is frozen for 2 or 3 or 4 months, that's when I need to get back on the treadmill. So I actually picked out a couple of videos that I can watch while I'm walking. There's my little monitor. So the Grinch is up first. Whatever you're doing as you prepare for Christmas, I hope you're having a great time. I hope that this experiment on the tomatoes that I'm doing may be helpful to you. There's a lot of knowledge out there that I don't know, but I'm going to try and keep learning so that I can have fun like this and experiment, try new things, try and be productive, try and keep alert. So anyway, I hope you're having a great time preparing for Christmas. As you can see, I've got some Christmas lights up because they're up all year. At Christmas time, I call them Christmas lights. During the rest of the time, I call them party lights. So when I come out here to walk on the treadmill, I can feel like I'm having a party. Yay! Remember that even when you take it slow, you can accomplish a lot. And have a wonderful Christmas season, and I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.